infinite amount of facts that are learnable. And within that fact universe, there are an infinite amount of number facts that we could learn. But we only want them to learn the learnings. One digit add one digit, and one digit multiplied by one digit. And so we have the addition learnings from 2 add 2 up to 9 add 9. Plus their switchers. Do you know what a switcher is? If you know that 2 add 3 is 5, what's the switcher? 3 add 2 is 5. It's actually the commutative law. But, education's full of words that we just wouldn't use with children, so we don't call these things anything. But we want to give the things a name so that the kids can grab hold of it and understand it. So we call it a switcher. Those are the 36 addition learnings and their switchers. And then we've got the multiplication learnings and their switchers. So there's 72 different learnings facts that we want children to learn in total. But we introduce them very, very gradually through the learning schedule. So the addition learnings by year group. In reception, as we call it, or FS2, double 2, double 3, double 4, double 5, and 3 add 2, and the switcher 2 add 3. That's it for the whole of that year. Those are the number facts we want children to learn off by heart. In year 1, those addition learnings there. We're breaking this down a bit more in a minute. And in year 2, those addition learnings there. And of course their switchers. And as well as switchers, fact families. Have you come across fact families? You can do them for additions and subtractions or multiplications and divisions. But if we know that 3 and 4 is 7, get the children to point to them. 3 add 4 is 7, 4 add 3 is 7, 7 take away 3 is 4, 7 take away 4 is 3. Same this way. 3 times 4 is 12, 4 times 3 is 12, 12 divided by 3 is 4, 12 divided by 4 is 3. So building in those switches and fact families is really good. Tables that we learn, we do through individual multiplication facts, as well as times tables. Let's move on, because of, even though we haven't done every single times table by the time we get into year 4, because of the switches, there are only 6 multiplication facts remaining by the time we get into year 4, according to this schedule. So we do the 6 fact challenge in year 4. So if we break it down, different steps, right the way through, 15 steps of the learner's schedule, going up to the end of year 4. And then we just continue. But if I break it down step by step, step 1, so this is in the first term of FS2. We're learning double 1 and double 2, and that's it for the whole term before the winter break. Step 2, second term, double 3, double 4, and double 5. Step 3, 2 add 3, 2 add 1. Even though 2 add 1 isn't one of our learnings, because if you're adding 1 onto a number, you're just saying the next number. So we don't need to learn those facts, but it's introducing number sentences. And then we are saying multiples of 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then all the way through to 100. Lots of counting games, lots of activities to go with these. And then year 1, term 1, number bonds to 10. And with these learnings, you're playing games with them. So I'm number bonds to 10, I like ping pong. So if I hit a ball to you and say ping, you have to hit it back and say pong. Okay? If Ready? Have you got your bats in your hand?
Yeah.
No, I'm really going to make you do it.
Okay.
Okay? Ping!
Pong.
Ping!
Pong.
Ping!
Pong.
Right, sometimes I'm going to ping you and you'll pong me, but sometimes I'm going to say a number and you have to pong back the number that goes with it to make 10. Ping!
Pong.
8.
2.
2.
8.
Ping!
Pong.
7.
3.
3.
7.
Ping!
Pong.
4.
6.
6.
4.
There you go. Very good. Very good. You can play it with younger children. If you're doing these sort of learnings, I could do the mind reader game. Okay, so if you sit there, you're going to be the mind reader. So you would have a mind reader's hat and a mind reader's magic wand. You'd all have your little whiteboards and your whiteboard pens because we love that in big maths because it stops that one person hand up, everybody else off the hook teaching. It insists on a response from everybody. We can check in on everybody's learning in a quick look around the room. So I'm going to put a number on here. Now everyone else on their little whiteboard is going to write the number bond to 10. So what number would you have all written? 7. So can you mind read what's on the board? 3. Amazing. Well done. Very good. Very good. Yes, you can clap by all means. There you go. Told you you're good at maths. Little games like that, you know, they love it. And then we can do that later on with number bonds to 100 and 1,000 and 10,000. So that's step 4 in year 1. Step 5, year 1, term 2. These addition facts for a whole term. So we need to be displaying these on the wall. We need to be sending them home, asking parents to do 5 minutes, or their nanny, or their driver on the way home. Practice these number facts with your children. Make games out of them. 99, 88, 77, 6, end of year 1, and counting in multiples of 2. All step by step. Year 2, term 1, these addition facts, and then the 10 times table. So first step in doing a times table. First of all, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay? But don't just do it like that. Get them at the tables, standing up. First group says 10, next group says 20, next group says 30. Make it active, get them moving. And then 10, 20, 30, right through to 100. And then the old-fashioned 1 10 is 10, 2 10s are 20, 3 10s are 30. Then jumble them up because that's where they become useful. You know, if I say to a child, do you know your 3 times table? And they go, yeah. And I say, can you tell me it? They go 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. That's not knowing your times table. That's being able to count in 3s. But then equally, if I say, do you know your 3 times table? And they go, 1 3 is 3, 2 3s are 6, 3 3s are 9. And I go, what's 7 3s? And they go, 1 3 is 3, 2 3 is 6, 3 3 is 9, 4 3. Because they don't know them as individual facts. So we jumble them up. And then we take a fact, 3 7s are 21, let's do the fact family. 7 3s are 21, 21 divided by 3 is 7, 21 divided by 7 is 3. And on we go through. Step 8, year 2, term 2. These addition facts and the 5 times table. Step 9, end of year 2. These addition facts and their switches and the 2 times table. It's not very much to do, term by term. It really isn't. 5 minutes a day. By the time we're getting into year 3, we're doing all of the addition facts and the 3 times table in term 1, and then the 4 times table in term 2, and the 8 times table in term 3. And then we've got into year 4, the 6 fact challenge. If you're trying to photograph this and you're not able to, don't worry, you can always borrow it and whatever you want, it's there to be used. Year 4, the 6 fact challenge. And then we tag on the end of year 4, the 11s and the 12 times table. Don't forget your switches, don't forget your fact families. For both additions and subtractions and multiplications and divisions. we're talking literally as a warm-up at the beginning of your lesson, maths lesson each day, doing 5 minutes on learn-its, practicing them, but an assessment on a Thursday, an assessment to go, how's it going? And they absolutely love these assessments. They're only in competition with themselves. And we're saying to them, did you get your best ever score? Did you beat your score from last week? And they look like this. Learn-its challenges, linked to age-related expectations, so we can see where they are according to the learn-its schedule. And so, I might have a child that's on this particular sheet. So they're looking at step 6, step 7, and step 8. And what happens is, they get a certain amount of time, in this case it's 1 minute, where they have to fill in as many of these as they can. So there's a jingle that tells them when to go, so they have their assessment paper on the table in front of them, face down like this. The jingle tells them, ready, steady, go. They turn it over, they do as many as they can in the minute, and then we mark them and then we say, did you beat your last score? Have you got your best ever score? There is 10 versions of each one of these. So the same questions, but in a different order. So they're not remembering week after week which order the questions come in. And if they get all of these right, 3 weeks running, then we move them on to the next one. So the next one would be, well, that'd be the one before, or the next one will be step 7, step 8, and step 9 altogether. So they already know these ones. So these are the next learnings that they're going to be learning. 10 versions of each. If they get them all right, 3 weeks running, we move them on to the next one. So this is what the jingle sounds like. So imagine all the students sat there with their test papers on the table in front of them, face down, pencils at the ready. Oh, that's really taking away the excitement. Don't switch it on yet. Right, I'm going to go back and forward again. Right, on. Thank you.
Big Maths, beat that. Welcome to Big Maths, beat that. I hope today is the day you beat your best ever score. Ready, steady, go.
So at that point, they all turn their sheets over and they get 1 minute to answer as many questions as they can, and everything goes very, very silent. As before, when the jingle's playing, they're all banging on the tables or dancing or whatever. And then, after the 1 minute is up, they get the countdown.
3, 2, 1. Pencils down. Okay, let's see how you did.
Yeah, smashy and nicey, remember that? And at that point, with slightly older children, we can swap the papers and they can mark each other. With younger children, it takes such a short amount of time to go around and mark them. And then we're asking who beat their score. It starts here, step 1, in foundation in FS2. There isn't 10 versions of that one, I have to say, for obvious reasons. And then we go on to, we get those right, 3 weeks running, we go on to step 1 and step 2 together. We get those right, 3 weeks running, and then we're getting into 10 versions of each. Step 1, step 2, and step 3. And so we go right the way through. I've got a disk with all of these on that we can put them on the server, but I tried to use it today and it wouldn't work. But I think we need Adobe Air or something like that, if anyone knows about those sort of things. But I'm on Big Maths Online anyway, which means that we can access everything and all of the resources, teaching resources, through that and just rip them off. So these go right the way through until we get to the ultimate challenge. All 72 learners. For this, you get 1 minute 40 seconds to answer those questions. And then if you get them all right 3 weeks running, we reduce the time available by 10 seconds. And you might have students who are on this and then some on earlier ones, and it just means you all use the same timer, but the students who aren't on this yet starts when the timer gets to 1 minute. And I had, in my last class before I went into doing something else, I had 6 kids in my class that every week were getting 72 out of 72 in 1 minute. And the only reason they weren't doing it in 50 seconds was because it's really hard to write down 72 legible answers in 50 seconds. And I had a dad came in to see me go, why is my son being told to come home and practice 5 at 9? And he said he knows what 5 at 9 is. So I arranged an evening for parents to come in and sat them all next to their kids, and we gave them one of these each, and I put the jingle on. And after a minute, his son was sat there going, come on, Dad. And his dad was sort of working down the fourth column, going like this. And then we were able to go, because he knows 5 at 9, I can know what's 50 at 90, and he's going 140. And I was going, you know, what's 90 at 50? And he was coming out with the answers like this, and he's saying, it's not just about knowing 5 at 9. But knowing 5 at 9 like that means we can expect success in so many other areas. So, we then got certificates, well done, you beat your best ever score. And yeah, there's jingles and things available, but it's really powerful. And if you've got a child that last week got 3 right, and this week got 5 right, and the child sat next to them who last week got 20 right, and this week got 22 right, we're not saying who got 22 and who got 4, we're saying who beat their score by 1, who beat their score by 2. So that child with 22 and that child with 4 are both putting their hands up saying, yeah, I beat my score by 2. And that's what they're going home with. They're not going home with, I'm not as good as this person. They're going home with, I am, actually. So just before we finish, I thought you'd like to experience the sensation of doing an ultimate challenge. Now I am going to give you a full 90 seconds to have a go at this. You don't have one, nothing to rest on. You can rest on the floor. And if you don't have a pen, I've got some pens. So there's no excuses. So,
No.
Oh, by the way, don't look at this. Put it on the floor, face down, or on a chair in front of you, face down. There's pens here, and I'm just going to find it to a 90-second jingle.